about timing. But I am here to tell you, you're wrong. It is about alignment. It is about vibration. It is about the silent force that surrounds you. And that force is what I call your aura. You do not attract what you chase. You attract what you are. Your aura is your broadcast signal. It is the frequency you emit unconsciously, consistently, and unapologetically. Before you speak, it speaks for you. Before you enter a room, it arrives ahead of you. Before you pitch an idea, or launch a product, or ask for a raise, your aura has already negotiated the terms. So if you are poor on the inside, if you carry doubt in your bones, if your self-talk drips with scarcity, then I don't care how big your dreams are, you will sabotage your success at every turn. This is the law of resonance, and it is non-negotiable. You see, every thought you think emits a signal. Every emotion you hold becomes a pattern. Every belief you adopt becomes a magnetic current, either pulling prosperity toward you or repelling it from your field. You are either a magnet or a repellent. And here's where people fail. They try to fake confidence. They paste on smiles. They rehearse affirmations they don't believe. They act as if but vibrate fear underneath it all. And the universe reads the real signal, not your words, not your dreams, your energy. So let me ask you a question. What are you broadcasting? Because your aura cannot lie, it reflects your truth. If you are constantly anxious about money, the message you send island, I live in lack. If you envy others' success, the message island, there is not enough for me. If you undercharge, apologize for your price, feel guilt for winning, the message island, I do not believe in my own worth. That signal becomes your ceiling, and no strategy will save you until your signal is rewired. Now, let's be clear. Your aura is not some mystical idea. It is a reflection of your emotional habits. It is built through repetition. It is shaped by focus. It is strengthened through mental discipline. You are training your aura every time you think a thought, every time you hold a belief, every time you speak words out loud. Every single one of these becomes part of the field around you. And that field, your aura, is what money listens to. So if you want to attract wealth, stop trying to impress the world. Impress your subconscious. Train your nervous system to feel safe with abundance. Because if your body resists it, you will unconsciously block every breakthrough. Let me tell you something that will sound radical, but is absolutely true. Wealth doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your imagination. Can you hold the feeling of overflow without seeing the evidence? Can you walk like someone who is already free, even if the world hasn't caught up yet? Most people can't, because they are addicted to external validation. They need proof before they believe. But the wealthy, those who stay wealthy, believe first. They rehearse success in the mind's theater until it becomes inevitable. They build the future internally before a dime shows up externally. That is the secret of energy mastery. And that is how you train your aura to attract wealth. So how do you begin? Step 1, you must reclaim authorship of your identity. You must erase the story that was written for you by broke parents, insecure teachers, cautious friends, and a society that glorifies struggle. You are not born poor. You were trained to think poor. You were conditioned to fear wealth, to associate it with guilt, greed, or corruption. And if you hold these beliefs, no matter how small, you are repelling the very thing you say you want. Money has no loyalty. It flows to those who are most energetically open to it. If your aura is filled with shame, it will run. If your aura is coated in expectation and abundance, it will chase you. So I ask you again, what are you broadcasting? You cannot afford to walk through this world unconsciously. Every sigh, every complaint, every moment of self-pity is training your aura to normalize lack. But every act of gratitude, every minute spent visualizing your financial destiny, every ounce of courage to say, I deserve more, that is how you rewire the frequency. There are no shortcuts, there are no exceptions. This is work, but it is sacred work. Now here's something most people miss. You must not just think rich, you must feel rich. Wealth is not just a number in a bank account. It is an emotional signature. It feels like security. It feels like freedom. It feels like expansion. And unless your body learns to feel those emotions now, you will unconsciously sabotage your wealth when it finally arrives. This is why so many lottery winners go broke. Their vibration didn't match the money. Their aura was still one of fear, confusion, and limitation. And so the money had to leave, because energy seeks alignment. So ask yourself, how can I practice the feeling of wealth today? Even if your account says zero, can you walk with your head high? Can you speak your truth boldly? Can you act like someone who knows their worth without apology? That is wealth training. That is aura training. Let's go deeper now. You must eliminate the people, the habits, and the environments that drain your signal. You can't train a magnetic aura while dining with complainers. You can't build confidence while listening to gossip. You can't think like a millionaire while scrolling through poverty mindset content. What you consume becomes what you emit. So guard your field, read wealth, speak wealth, feel wealth. Surround yourself with those who challenge you to grow, not those who anchor you in fear. Let me tell you the truth no one wants to hear. Sometimes the only thing standing between you and the wealth you desire is the old version of you that refuses to let go, the version that plays small, the version that doubts, the version that wants to be liked more than it wants to be free. That version has a weak signal. That version begs. That version repels opportunity because it cannot handle responsibility. You must shed that version. Not someday, not when it's convenient, but now. The moment you stop apologizing for your power, the moment you stop minimizing your potential, the moment you decide to no longer entertain lack, gossip, or emotional chaos, that is the moment your aura becomes. Don't drink. That was death.
I see some familiar faces here. All right, Ace, brother, how are you doing? I just want to start by saying hello and greeting everybody. I see Mal, Ryan, Mac,
Not because you're lucky,
Ryu,
but
Ryu,
because you
should I
trained
say?
your field.
How are you, Ace, bro?
Your aura is not
Yo, I'm
fixed, it
blessed,
is
brother. How you
evolving.
doing, man?
It is shaped by
Good, I'm
every
good, bro.
thought,
Thank God, thank
word,
God.
and action.
Instead of playing music,
You
man,
are
everyone's always
always
playing fucking
training,
music and stuff. I said
consciously
I'll
or
play something else for a little
unconsciously.
minute
So train it with intent.
until we kind of,
Declare
get
every
things
day,
going, But look,
I
tonight,
am
lads,
wealth.
as you can probably tell from the piece I was playing, the core message of what I'm trying to put out tonight is about, your mind and body run on whatever you feed it. So the quality of what you allow in mentally and physically is actually what's building your health. It's what's building energy, discipline, and your results, your wealth. And I don't mean just by money, but also money as well. Money is like energy. Bitcoin is energy, if you want to look at things like that, but that's a deeper conversation. We're going to get into all of these little things also, but anyway, I'll say welcome in. This is the inner war room, lads, the inner war room. So we have the war room, the market war room, and this is the inner war room. So if you found yourself here tonight, you already feel something that most people probably spend an entire life avoiding. That little sense, the energy you carry, the discipline you can or can't seem to hold, None of it's random. It's being made right now by something. And tonight we might find out what. So before we go anywhere, do one thing with me. Wherever you are, just sit up a little bit, relax, get comfortable, come up and speak if you want to speak. If not, no worries. Take a little breath in and a long, slow breath out. Yeah, so one deep breath in and slow out. Because that breath you just took, you chose that breath. You chose to let it in, and that's this entire space of emotion, because everything that enters you, every breath, every thought, every headline, every conversation, every meal, every voice you let into those ears, let into your eyes, let into your mouth. Once it goes in, it's an input. And your mind and your body do not argue with their inputs, they obey inputs. Okay? So that's a very important thing. So the hard truth we're going to sit with tonight calmly, without flinching, without trying to avoid it. Most of us are not undisciplined in this space, you know. We're not weak, we're not broken, but we're being programmed by inputs we never chose, and then quietly blaming ourselves for the output. You understand me? So so you scroll on your phone for an hour and you wonder why you wake up tired and fucked up in your head, you're depressed or whatever. You spend your morning inside other people's fear, wonder why your hands aren't steady on the trade. You keep one toxic voice in your life, you wonder why your standards keep slipping week after week. And it's not a character flaw, that's cause and effect. That's the system doing exactly what it was fed to do, you know? And there's an old idea the Stoics had, yeah? And it's the spine of everything we'll say tonight. If you're not at the mercy of the world, you're at the mercy of what you let in to you from the world. And that you can govern. So just say, think about that for a minute. You are not at mercy of the world. You are at mercy of what you let into you from the world. Okay? Because we do choose because everything that enters you, every breath, every thought, every headline, every conversation, every meal, every voice you let into those ears, let into your eyes, let into your mouth. Once it goes in, it's an input. And your mind and your body do not argue with their inputs, they obey inputs. Okay. So that's a very important thing. So the hard truth we're going to sit with tonight calmly without flinching, without trying to avoid it. Most of us are not undisciplined in this space, you know. We're not weak, we're not broken, but we're being programmed by inputs we never chose, and then quietly blaming ourselves for the output. You understand me? So if you scroll on your phone for an hour and you wonder why you wake up tired and fucked up in your head, you're depressed or whatever, you spend your morning inside other people's fear, wonder why your hands aren't steady on the trade. You keep one toxic life, you wonder why your standards keep slipping week after week. And it's not a character flaw, that's cause and effect. That's the system doing exactly what it was fed to do, you know? And there's an old idea the Stoics had, yeah? And it's the spine of everything we'll say tonight. If you're not at the mercy of the world, you're at the mercy of what you let in to you from the world. And that you can govern. So just think about that for a minute. You are not at mercy of the world. You are at mercy of what you let into you from the world. Okay, because we do choose. We have a lot of choice about a lot of things that we put in, like scrolling on X. That's why honestly you don't see me now lately on X or on group chats or on spaces too much, because I know how much that can affect me, especially when you're tuned in with certain things. So look, here's what I'll promise you for the next however long we end up on the space. And I'll keep going. People can drop, people can come, people can go, they can talk and ask questions whenever they want as well, obviously. Um but look, we're not here tonight to feel good, you know. We're here to get clean. You know, so by the time we close, hopefully you will leave here with one clear realization. One, that you can act on before your head hits the pillow tonight as well. So before you go to sleep, before you fucking clock out, not 10 ideas you'll have they'll be flying through your head and you'll forget by the morning. But one solid truth that you'll feel in your body and your mind. And you know, the realization where we're going, you know, what we're going to earn together here, piece by piece, the quality of what you allow into your mind and your body is creating your health, is creating your energy, is creating your discipline and your results, whether that's in your relationship, life, trading, even the results in your kids, okay? Because at the end of the day, how can you expect your kids to live a certain way if you're not living that way, if you're not showing them that way, you know? You're an input for them. as a man or a woman, mind and your body do not argue with their inputs, they obey inputs. Okay. So that's a very important thing. So the hard truth we're going to sit with tonight calmly without flinching, without trying to avoid it. Most of us are not undisciplined in this space, you know. We're not weak, we're not broken, but we're being programmed by inputs we never chose, and then quietly blaming ourselves for the output. You understand me? So if you scroll on your phone for an hour and you wonder why you wake up tired and fucked up in your head, you're depressed or whatever, you spend your morning inside other people's fear, wonder why your hands aren't steady on the trade. You keep one toxic voice in your life, you wonder why your standards keep slipping week after week. And it's not a character flaw, that's cause and effect. That's the system doing exactly what it was fed to do, you know? And there's an old idea the Stoics had, yeah? And it's the spine of everything we'll say tonight. If you're not at the mercy of the world, you're at the mercy of what you let in to you from the world. And that you can govern. So just say think about that for a minute. You are not at mercy of the world. You are at mercy of what you let into you from the world. Okay, because we do choose. We have a lot of choice about a lot of things that we put in, like scrolling on X. That's why honestly you don't see me now lately on X or on group chats or on spaces too much, because I know how much that can affect me, especially when you're tuned in with certain things. So look, here's what I'll promise you for the next however long we end up on the space. And I'll keep going. People can drop, people can come, people can go, they can talk and ask questions whenever they want as well, obviously. Um but look, we're not here tonight to feel good, you know. We're here to get clean. You know, so by the time we close, hopefully you will leave here with one clear realization. One, that you can act on before your head hits the pillow tonight as well. So before you go to sleep, before you fucking clock out, not 10 ideas you'll have of they'll be flying through your head and you'll forget by the morning. But one solid truth that you'll feel in your body and your mind. And you know, the realization where we're going, you know, what we're going to earn together here, piece by piece, the quality of what you allow into your mind and your body is creating your health, is creating your energy, is creating your discipline and your results, whether that's in your relationship, life, trading, even the results in your kids, okay? Because at the end of the day, how can you expect your kids to live a certain way if you're not living that way, if you're not showing them that way, you know? And you're an input for them. You're a major input for your kids and the people around you. You know, as a man or a woman, people look up to you in different ways. So hopefully that's what we can do. And if you're up for speaking, I'll bring people up. I want your inputs. But for now, settle in for a little minute. And I want to just get into a little opening here. So let me give you the simplest model of a human being that you'll ever hear. You are an input output machine. What goes in gets processed and comes back out as your state, your health, your decisions. Garbage is not a slogan, it's a mechanism. Okay, so what you watch and read. Okay, so this is like your input stream, yeah. Kind of like you could summarize this as like some people's main input streams, yeah. In our kind of society, kind of world we're in. So what you watch and read, you could say media. That's like a media input. How you spend your time, who you spend your time with, is like a people input. And what you say to yourself, your inner thought, your inner voice, that's your thoughts, yeah. That's another input. And then what you put in your body is another major input too. Food, substances, movement, light, sleep. These are inputs, but they're for the body. It's you're giving the body something. Excuse me. So like an input like health, anything if it goes in your mouth, light goes into the body, sleep comes into the body. All of these things are inputs for the body. So four pipes, they all run into the same tank, you know? So there's a man called Napoleon Hill. Hill was an author. He was his mentor was a guy called Andrew Carnegie. Now he was the richest man at his time. Andrew Carnegie, he was the richest man of his time. He created multiple millionaires. But you have Napoleon Hill then, who was an author of certain books. Think and Grow Rich, very famous book of his. He's created multiple millionaires then after him, you know, and everything was about the mind with these people. Everything is like, if think and grow rich, if you can see it in your mind, well, you can achieve it. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. And if you go through, that's why I played the little clip at the start. If you go through all top successful people in every and any field, some people just get lucky and they just fucking, you could say it's luck, but probably in the back of their head somewhere, they really did have a belief and they just don't know what they were doing. But the majority of people at a certain high level, it's not just talent and work and work rate. A fucking huge amounts of work rate go into it, but it's not like they're like, yeah, well, look, I'm just training me bollocks off here, and I mean, hopefully, I become, you know, number one, or hopefully become champion. He's like, no, I'm training my fucking balls off here, and I am gonna become the champion. They can see how they're gonna do it. They can see themselves walking into the ring. Their hands are up. They feel it. They imagine it. Everything. And yes, Ace, brother, speak there for a minute. Sorry, bro. I want you to chime in on this here now. No worries, my bro.
Yo, broski, I just wanted to say you gotta grow through what you go through, bro. That is that simple, bro.
100%.
That's you know what I'm saying? The energy is like you said earlier. Everything is energy, you know, from a handshake to what you say to people to what you receive. And discipline, bro. We pray for a better tomorrow, but are we doing the execution for it? You know, for me, prayer is execution. So if you're praying for a better tomorrow, how are you praying for that better tomorrow?
Very nice, bro. Exactly. Exactly, bro. I see when I was mentioning Napoleon Hill and you had some reactions there. You aware of him? You know who I'm speaking about there?
Oh, absolutely. And Andrew Carnegie, you
Yeah, yeah.
know,
Bob Proctor,
yep,
all them
a
boys.
1000%. What ET, you know, a lot of these people that talk about motivation, the biggest thing is understanding that when you wake up, there you should look for internal motivation versus external. And you gotta find it within yourself. It's like you're saying, you know, when you wake up and you say, I'm a champion, right? Champions don't get made in the light, bro. They get made in the dark when everyone's not looking, when these guys are training and putting in the work and putting in the repetition, and when even when they don't want to do it, have the discipline to turn around and just go for it. Those are the ones that end up shining, b but they They get built in the dark, fam.
That's the thing. A lot of it gets built in the dark because a lot of people, bro, and I know it can happen as well in all different things. Look, a lot of people get overwhelmed by attention and a lot of different things, and it can stray them away from that inner self, that inner thought, the inner focus, the inner light, if you want to call it. I don't know what you want to say, but when things are going good, when people are going good and they're getting a little bit of attention as well, they can stray away from that thing that brought them to that point, whether that's God, whether you want to call it the universe, whatever you want to call it, that thing that keeps you um, planted and there, you know. And there's something else I wanted to bring up about Napoleon Hill here. Sorry, I just have it here. A little quote I had. Sorry, no, lads. I just X'd off something here. I just have, have some UFC stuff in the background looking. But look, so look, Napoleon Hill, yeah, he called the subconscious the most fertile ground there is, and he meant it as a warning. Soil doesn't judge the seed. Okay, so the subconscious mind is the soil here. Okay, so just picture the subconscious mind as the soil, okay? And Napoleon Hill called the subconscious mind the most fertile ground, the most fertile soil there is, yeah? And he meant it as a warning. Because look, think about it this. If you put a seed into the ground, yeah, any seed, anything it is, soil doesn't care what seed it is. If it's a weed, it grows the weed. Plant a fucking apple, it grows an apple tree. It grows whatever. You keep planting, it keeps growing. Now, most people are planting weeds all day and praying for fruit. You know what I mean? Most people are planting weeds up there all day, and they're praying for fucking apple trees. You know,
Yo,
and
Ari,
and, and yes, brother.
I was gonna say, and a lot of people also plant a seed and expect it to bear fruit the same week they plant it.
Exactly. And that goes into another thing about conditioning the mind and stuff. And this is why I'm doing this too, to tighten up myself. I notice, man. I know. Look, I tell you, I've been studying the law of attraction and visualization and stuff before I even knew I was doing it, right? And I'll tell you how, because I used to be kickboxing and martial arts and all of this. I said it a couple of times before, but I was on the Irish team. And when I was like, let's say maybe 9. Now, my father used to always tell me this too before this, right? So before uh, I'll go a few years ahead. Like my father used to tell me, visualize, short visualization before fights. Like even on the way to the fight, before warming up, I could be warm, and instead of even doing pads and doing a full 4 minute or a couple of rounds to get the first window, I'll be fucking there with my headphones in, doing whatever I'm doing, just kind of bobbing around, visualizing shots, picturing myself in the corner, boom, boom, move, slip, bang. And I'm just visualizing everything. And I could be sitting even on a chair doing this, and all my muscles, everything is doing what I'm doing. But anyway, that was back then. And then a woman came in, her name was Kat Fitzpatrick. I'll always remember this. She came in and she done visualization sessions with us before. I was fucking maybe 11 or 12 at this time. And these were more like, sit there, visualize. And actually, the guy who gave me my black belt, Massan Korbani, he's from Iran. This guy's from Iran. He used to do a lot of meditation, visualization stuff as well, right? So back then, I remember my father was very sick in hospital and I was fighting for an Irish title. And he said, because we'd have a lot of fighters go up to a tournament, and this tournament would be something like Karate Kid. You will have mats like the Tommy mats, then you'll have some rings, like, boxing rings. And it could be a full basketball arena full of maybe 8 different, or 12 even different sections, depending on how big they were. And my club would bring up 2 buses of people, like 50 buses on each, like 100 people. a lot of different fighters, a lot of people competing. And my father said, "Look, this is a big thing for Adam tomorrow. Make sure I want people there when he's fighting, blah, blah, blah. He's going to be in hospital." But I remember being up all night that night. And I was visualizing that I was like I just couldn't sleep, and it was just one vivid memory I have in my head of doing a certain spinning hook kick, yeah, because this was like karate, like points fighting at this time. And I just have a visual, just I remember doing this kick and landing the kick and everyone just going crazy, whatever. And it was a strong fucking thing in my head. And bro, I swear there was 12, I had 12 fights that day. They were 1 round fights. It was only like 12 or 13, as I said. They were like 1 round fights. And then the last 3 fights were 2 rounds and the final was 3 rounds, yeah. It was like a knockout tournament, like, you know. And that's exactly what happened in the last. That was my last score, my last point, my last everything. And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was trying to tell that to people. I was trying to explain it to people, and you know what I mean. I didn't know, and then it was mad. You know, many years later, then I heard of The Secret and heard of the Law of Attraction. Then I heard different people talking about it and things. I was like, "But man, that's it. That's exactly what that was like that." And then obviously other things as well, bro. I know, like, I just know, like, you know, like when I say deep meditation, I mean doing chakra cleansing, getting deep, like proper guided meditation sessions, and really going deep into it, bro. I mean manifestation, like actual manifesting, like just even small things, and then big enough things too, like, you know, like certain situations. But it's always important to kind of remember that too, though, because it's easy to stray apart from that. So that's also why I'm doing this now, to try lock it back in and make it a daily thing for the community, for the people around as well. Because if they're locked into it, I'm locked into it. If I'm locked into it, we're all locked in. If someone's slipping, you can spot it from a mile away and you can fucking drag them back, you know. But yeah. So look, that was the subconscious soil, and it's not like a fucking a mystic. This isn't mystical, yeah. So like an hour on your phone, doom scrolling on fucking X, uh, looking through fucking this post, that post. It lifts all these stress hormones in your body, but then your sleep is fucked. So just 2 hours, an hour before bed or 2 hours before bed, you're scrolling through that, and then tomorrow you'd be wondering why that little short fuse is there, and it's not even a discipline problem. You could call it a discipline problem. It was an input problem the night before, not the next day. Because if you're wondering, then you know you're thinking why you're not feeling exactly up to go to the gym, or your temper is a bit fucking short, you have a short fuse, you're a bit snappy at people, this and that. Well, that was the input from the night before, and you were just already set against it before you woke up, you know. So the question for tonight then isn't how do you become more disciplined, but it's more, what am I feeding the machine? Like what am I gonna put in? Like, it's like a fucking Ferrari or a Lamborghini, or any kind of engine, or a boat engine, or whatever you have. It's like, what am I putting in? Am I putting in good fuel? And you need to think about the output then. What is this input gonna produce? What output am I gonna produce, you know? So without overthinking it, this is what I want you to do is, in the comment section, okay, in the comment section, it'll take you 2 seconds, without overthinking it, name yourself the biggest input you took in over the last 24 hours. The one thing you gave the most attention to, all right? Drop it in the comment section and we'll come back to it in a minute, right? I'll read them in a minute. So, and we'll come back to it in a minute. So think of it now, yeah? Well, don't overthink it. Be honest. Just like, the biggest input could have been, X, could have been the charts, it could have been your kids, it could have been work, could have been something you're studying. Be honest, it could have been fucking anything, you know? And I'm just going to talk about the news machine for a minute, because look, lads, news is not designed to inform us. It's designed to hold us, yeah? And the fastest way to hold a human being is fear. So you're not consuming information, you're consuming a daily optimized dose of fucking dread, doubt, and fear, and your nervous system can't handle that. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between a threat that's on a fucking screen 4,000 miles away or something that's in front of you. It's there. Do you know what I mean? It's coming in and it's all being processed. So that prepares your body as if it's fucking right in front of you. And then the feed that you get, the social media, it's like a fucking drug in a little bottle in your pocket all day, every day, scrolling, input, 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 input. Even, man, Iran war post, this post, that's all an input. It's all an input. And other people, like, look, even other people, like, you know, and they're posting out different things, and it just goes straight into that tank, lads. It goes straight into that fucking unfiltered tank, you know. And it's mostly when you're not even paying attention. That's the issue. You know, it's mostly when you don't even realize, but it's all in the subconscious then. And here's another thing that nobody wants to hear. Here's one that nobody, you know, the people around you, lads, the people around you, you know, friends, family, they're the fucking biggest one. They're mostly the biggest one, because people's emotional states are contagious. You know, think like rich dad, poor dad, you know, because I could talk to some family members and they could have the best intentions in their mind and they don't think they're saying anything wrong. You know, you could talk about crypto, you could talk about investing, you could talk about anything, and they're telling you all the bad things, bro. And like, you know, they're thinking of just how just their mind frame, where they're at, you know. But that's just an example. One second.
Say that again, Ari.
Excuse me. I just had the cough there. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good, bro. My bad.
You're all good, bro. But but yeah.
Yeah, I love
So
this conversation, man, because
you're
it's
welcome, bro.
something
Sorry.
that
I don't want to keep going. If you want to chime in whenever, no worries. You know, I'm just
no,
trying to
I was just gonna say, bro, I love the conversation. People tend to underestimate the power of psychology and trading. And when you plant seeds, you plant them within your
You think about at that point, you know, friends, family, they're the fucking biggest one. They're mostly the biggest one because people's emotional states are contagious. You know, think like rich dad, poor dad, you know, because I could talk to some family members and they could have the best intentions in their mind and they don't think they're saying anything wrong. You know, you could talk about crypto, you could talk about investing, you could talk about anything, and they're telling you all the bad things, bro. And like you know they're thinking of just how just their mind frame where they're at, you know. But that's just an example. One second.
Say it again, Harry.
Excuse me, I just had the cough there. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good, bro. My bad.
You're all good, bro. But but yeah.
Yeah, I love
So
this conversation, man, because
you're
it's
welcome, bro.
something
Sorry,
that
I don't want to keep going. If you want to chime in whenever, no worries. You know, I'm just
no,
trying to.
I was just gonna say, bro, I love the conversation. People tend to underestimate the power of psychology and trading. And when you plant seeds, you plant them within yourself. So, like most people have self doubt, they'll go into something, you know, they won't put like that full effort in because they're already in their mind lost. And that's, you know, part of what makes you hold the losers longer and sell winners fast.
100%, bro. Hundred
Yo,
percent.
I see Lil Fish has his hand up, bro.
Yeah, fish go speak, my bro.
Followers the vibe, gang.
Dímelo, ganga.
Shit. I just came in here to talk my little shit, give my little 2 cents.
Yeah, man.
You know, if you know me, you know I rarely speak in people's spaces because most niggas be talking about some nonsense, and I don't even want to entertain none of that shit. But you know, I fuck with EireX, I fuck with Ace, I fuck with Mao down there. You know, um, and I actually like this little group because this little group that I just named is always very, very positive and always have a very can-do attitude. And like you said about environment, you know, I don't believe anyone can escape their environment and how your environment affects you, but I do definitely believe the influences you allow around you can overpower an environment. If you are in a shitty situation in a shitty environment, but you have some real go-getters around.
In motion. I am aligned with abundance. I do not chase, I attract. I release guilt and embrace expansion. Say these not to impress the world, but to reprogram yourself. And finally, trust this. The more you embody wealth, the less you will need to prove anything. You will not need to shout your success. You will not need to flaunt your value. Your aura will speak for you. Train it, strengthen it, respect it, and wealth will respond. You must understand, wealth is not earned by effort alone. If it were, the hardest workers would be the richest, but they are not. And that contradiction should wake you up. It is not sweat alone that unlocks prosperity. It is alignment. You could grind endlessly, run yourself into exhaustion, build businesses, climb corporate ladders, study strategies, but if the signal you're emitting is one of internal poverty, you will sabotage every gain. You will attract betrayal, delays, miscommunication, missed chances. Why? because your aura doesn't lie. And you may say, but Napoleon, I'm thinking positive thoughts. I'm visualizing success. I'm repeating affirmations. Then I ask you, are you feeling them? You see, this is where most fail. They speak abundance with their mouths, but whisper lack in their nervous system. They chant success in the morning, and by afternoon they are worrying about bills. They meditate for 10 minutes, then spend the rest of the day radiating panic, jealousy, guilt, and scarcity. That is not alignment. That is confusion. And the universe does not reward confusion. It rewards clarity. So let us clarify. Your aura is your emotional default, not your peak state, not your performance on a good day, but your average, your baseline. If you want to train your aura to attract wealth, you must raise your baseline vibration, not occasionally, but consistently. And how do you do that? Through emotional hygiene, through the daily disciplined clearing of mental clutter, through the reconditioning of your beliefs, your emotions, and your habits so they are rooted in truth, not trauma. This means you must remove not just the negative thoughts, but the identity addicted to them. You must kill the part of you that needs to be the underdog, the part that clings to struggle as a badge of honor, the part that equates success with disloyalty to your past. That is the emotional infection blocking your signal. So today, ask yourself, who do I become when no one is watching? What frequency do I return to when I'm alone with my thoughts? What energy do I bring into the room before I even open my mouth? If your answer is anything less than certainty, belief, and dignity, then that is the area that requires your devotion. Now, let's move to a foundational principle, this so simple yet so overlooked. You do not receive what you want. You receive what you believe. Wanting is weak. Belief is powerful. A person who wants success is still anchored in lack. But a person who believes in their success vibrates as if it's already done. And the aura reflects that. It carries the tone of inevitability. That's when people begin to treat you differently. They say, you feel different. They say, something about you has changed. They say, I can't explain it, but I trust you. And they don't even know why. But you know why. It's because you trained your aura to command respect long before you saw results. You became it on the inside before the world could validate it on the outside. And that is the ultimate hack. That is the invisible edge. Now, let me give you a practical law to apply, because philosophy without application is poverty in disguise. Here is the law. Environment is amplifier. Whatever vibration you carry, your environment will amplify it. If you doubt yourself, and you're surrounded by complainers, gossipers, and critics, your self-doubt will multiply. But if you begin to rewire your aura for confidence, and you surround yourself with those who speak life, who move with boldness, who operate in conviction, your signal strengthens tenfold. So train your aura by curating your surroundings. Change your space. Change your company. Change your input. If you spend your days consuming anxiety, you will vibrate anxiety. If you soak in success, you will radiate success. Turn your room into a sanctuary of excellence. Fill it with books, symbols, and visuals that reinforce your future, not your fears. Guard your ears from negativity. Protect your mornings from distraction. Reclaim your nights from emotional drama, because every moment is training your field, and your field is training your results. You are always transmitting. The question island. Are you transmitting on purpose? Let's continue. There is a reason why some people seem to magnetize wealth without effort. It is not luck. It is not inheritance. It is not accident. It is energetic congruence. They speak what they believe. They act how they feel. They move as if it's already real. That level of congruence creates power. It creates certainty. It creates trust. Others feel it, and they want to align. They want to support you, buy from you, invest in you, not because of what you said, but because of how your presence made them feel. This is aura intelligence. People don't invest in plans. They invest in confidence. People don't buy logic. They buy energy. So stop trying to perfect your pitch. Perfect your presence. Stop trying to copy someone else's strategy. Copy their certainty. Copy their energy commitment. Because that's the real blueprint. That's the unspoken advantage. Now let's go deeper. Your aura reflects your relationship with self. If you are at war with yourself, you will be at war with money. If you judge your ambition, you will sabotage your progress. If you question your own worth, the world will echo that doubt. So start within, reparent yourself, rewrite the rules of what you're allowed to want. Give yourself permission to be powerful without apology. Teach your nervous system that expansion is safe. That success is your natural state, not your exception. Because until you believe you're worthy of wealth, you are blocking it. You can hustle all day. You can network and sell and create content, but if the vibration behind all of that is, I don't deserve it, then your results will mirror your fear, not your effort. The universe doesn't reward action, it rewards aligned action. So here's a tool I've taught to many who felt stuck, and it has changed their lives. Every morning, before the noise of the world creeps in, before the phone rings, before the headlines, before the rush, sit with yourself. 5 minutes. That's all. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths and visualize your aura glowing, brighter, stronger, expanding around you. Now speak to it, command it. Say, I am a magnet for abundance. Say, my presence is wealth. Say, money is safe with me. Success flows to me. I am aligned with expansion. Feel these words not as fantasy, but as truth. Practice that feeling until your body believes it. Do this every day for 21 days, and you will begin to notice opportunities showing up without effort. People responding to you with unexpected enthusiasm. Money arriving through channels you never expected. Because your aura will no longer repel it. It will welcome it. It will say, this person is ready. And that is the moment the shift occurs. Now I want to give you one last anchor in this segment. Wealth is not the reward. It is the side effect. The true reward is who you become in the process of aligning your energy. The emotional discipline, the mental clarity, the spiritual confidence, that is the wealth that no one can steal. That is the power no market crash can take away. You see, money is just a messenger. It goes where it feels safe. It flows to clarity. It dances with decisiveness. And when you become the type of person who lives in harmony with success, your aura becomes the invitation. It becomes the contract. And every room you walk into will feel it. You will not need to beg. You will not need to explain. You will not need to chase. You will simply arrive. Because your aura has already negotiated your worth. Let me now reveal something most people never learn in their entire lives. You do not attract what you chase. You attract what you are prepared to receive. It is not your ambition that determines your results, but your readiness. And readiness is not mental, it is energetic. It is emotional. It is spiritual. You do not convince life to hand you riches by talking fast, grinding hard, or networking endlessly. You earn those riches by becoming the person who vibrates at the level of those riches. Money is energy. Power is energy. Opportunities, resources, alliances, all of it is energetic. So the only way to attract what you want is to match the frequency of what you want. And the only way to do that is to train your aura. This is why I say, train your aura like an athlete trains his body. With intention, with devotion, with repetition. You are not entitled to wealth just because you want it. But you are destined for wealth if you embody it if you live in alignment with it before it ever shows up in your hands. Let me ask you something important. When you walk into a room, what walks in with you? Does your presence speak abundance or insecurity? Does your energy say, I am here to give, or I am desperate to get? Does your posture reflect quiet knowing or silent begging? You see, wealth is not only attracted to belief, it is repelled by desperation. Desperation signals fear, and fear poisons the frequency. It sends out the message, I'm not enough. I don't have enough. I can't hold it. I'm afraid it won't last. And when that becomes your energetic signature, the world responds accordingly. You push people away. You miss timing. You create misfires. But when you carry the opposite, when you breathe certainty, when your aura says, I am already fulfilled and more is welcome, that's when the gates open. That's when life stops resisting and starts delivering. Now you might wonder, how can I train my aura to be that clear, that magnetic? I'll give you the method. It's what I call emotional calibration. It consists of 3 powerful rituals repeated daily. This one, emotional audit. Every morning, ask yourself, what am I feeling, and does it serve the person I'm becoming? If the answer is no, reframe it. Don't let an unqualified emotion run your day. Interrupt it. Replace it. Realign. 2, alignment affirmation.
Sorry, I just have it here. A little quote they had. That's the thing. A lot of it gets built in the dark because a lot of people, bro, and I know it can happen as well in all different things. Look, a lot of people get overwhelmed by attention and a lot of different things, and it can stray them away from that inner self, that inner thought, the inner focus, the inner light, if you want to call it. I don't know what you want to say, but when things are going good, when people are going good and they're getting a little bit of attention as well, they can stray away from that thing that brought them to that point, whether that's God, whether you want to call it the universe, whatever you want to call it, that thing that keeps you um, planted and there, And there's something else I wanted to bring up about Napoleon Hill here. Sorry, I just have it here. A little quote I had. Sorry, lads, I just X'd off something here. I just have have some UFC stuff in the background looking. But look, so look, Napoleon Hill, yeah, he called the subconscious the most fertile ground there is, and he meant it as a warning. Soil doesn't judge the seed. Okay, so the subconscious mind is the soil here. Okay, so just picture the subconscious mind as the soil. Okay, and Napoleon Hill called the subconscious mind the most fertile ground, the most fertile soil there is. Yeah, and he meant it as a warning because look, think about it this. If you put a seed into the ground, yeah, any seed, anything it is, soil doesn't care what seed it is. If it's a weed, it grows the weed. Plant a fucking apple, it grows an apple tree. It grows whatever. You keep planting thing for the community, for the people around as well. Because if they're locked into it, I'm locked into it. If I'm locked into it, we're all locked in. If someone's slipping, you can spot it from a mile away and you can fucking drag them back, But yeah. So look, that was the subconscious soil, and it's not like a fucking a mystic. This isn't mystical, yeah. So like an hour on your phone, doom scrolling on fucking X, uh, looking through fucking this post, that post. It lifts all these stress hormones in your body, but then your sleep is fucked. So just 2 hours, an hour before bed or 2 hours before bed, you're scrolling through that, and then tomorrow you'd be wondering why that little short fuse is there, and it's not even a discipline problem. You could call it a discipline problem. It was an input problem the night before, not the next day. Because if you're wondering, then you're thinking why you're not feeling exactly up to go to the gym, or your temper is a bit fucking short, you have a short fuse, you're a bit snappy at people, this and that. Well, that was the input from the night before, and you were just already set against it before you woke up. So the question for tonight then isn't how do you become more disciplined, but it's more, what am I feeding the machine? Like what am I gonna put in? Like, it's like a fucking Ferrari or Lamborghini or any kind of engine or a boat engine or whatever you have. It's like what am I putting in? Am I putting in good fuel? And you need to think about the output then. What is this input gonna produce? What output am I gonna produce? So without overthinking it, this is what I want you to do is in the comment section. Okay, in the comment section, it'll take you 2 seconds. Without overthinking it, name yourself the biggest input you took in over the last 24 hours. The one thing you gave the most attention to, all right? Drop it in the comment section and we'll come back to it in a minute. Right? I'll read them in a minute. So, and we'll come back to it in a minute. So think of it now, yeah? Well, don't overthink it. Be honest. Just the biggest input could have been, X, could have been the charts, it could have been your kids, it could have been work, could have been something you're studying. Be honest, it could have been fucking anything, you know? And I'm just going to talk about the news machine for a minute because, look, lads, news is not designed to inform us. It's designed to hold us, yeah? And the fastest way to hold a human being is fear. So you're not consuming information, you're consuming a daily optimized dose of fucking dread, doubt, and fear, and your nervous system can't handle that. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between a threat that's on a fucking screen 4,000 miles away or something that's in front of you. It's there. Do you know what I mean? It's coming in and it's all being processed. So that prepares your body as if it's fucking right in front of you. And then the feed that you get, the social media, it's like a fucking drug in a little bottle in your pocket all day, every day, scrolling, input. Even war posts, man. Iran war posts, this post, that's all an input. It's all an input. And other people, like, look, even other people, like, and they're posting out different things, and it just goes straight into that tank, lads. It goes straight into that fucking unfiltered tank. And it's mostly while you're not even paying attention. That's the issue. It's mostly when you don't even realize, but it's all in the subconscious then. And here's another thing that nobody wants to hear. Here's one that nobody, the people around you, lads, the people around you, friends, family, they're the fucking biggest one. They're mostly the biggest one because people's emotional states are contagious. Think like rich dad, poor dad, because I could talk to some family members and they could have the best intentions in their mind and they don't think they're saying anything wrong. You could talk about crypto, you could talk about investing, you could talk about anything, and they're telling you all the bad things, bro. And they're thinking of just just their mind frame where they're at. But that's just an example. One second. But yeah. So look, that was the subconscious soil.
Say that again, Harry.
And excuse me, I just had the cough there. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good, bro. My bad.
This isn't. You're all good, bro. But but yeah.
Yeah, I love
So
this conversation, man, because
you're
it's
welcome, bro.
something
Sorry,
that
I don't want to keep going. If you want to chime in whenever, no worries. I'm just
no,
trying
I
to.
was I was I was just gonna say, bro, I love the conversation. People tend to underestimate the power of psychology and trading. And when you plant seeds, you plant them within yourself. So, like, most people have self doubt. They'll go into something, they won't put like that full effort in because they're already in their mind lost. And that's, part of what makes you hold the losers longer and sell winners fast.
100%,
Well, that was
bro.
the input from the night before,
100%.
I see
and
Lil Fish has his hand up, bro.
like
Yeah,
you were just
fish, go
already
speak,
set
my bro.
against it before you woke up. You know. So the question
Bottles,
for
bottles,
tonight
the
then
vibe,
isn't
gang.
how do you
Dímelo,
become more
ganga.
disciplined, but it's more what am I feeding the machine? Like what
Shit. I
what
just
am I
came in here
gonna
to
put
talk my
into it?
little shit, get my
It's like
little
a
two
fucking
cents.
Ferrari or a
Yeah,
Lamborghini
man.
or
You
an
know,
F1
if
engine
if
or
you
a
know me, you
boat
know I
engine or
rarely
whatever
speak
you
in
have.
people's spaces because
It's like
most
you're
niggas be talking about
what are
some
you putting
nonsense,
in?
and
You're
I
putting in
don't even
good
want to
fuel,
entertain
and
none of that shit. But
you need
you know, I
to
fuck with
think about the
EireX, I fuck
output
with
then.
Ace, fuck
What
with
is this
Mao down
input
there,
going to
you
produce?
know.
What output am I going to produce? You know.
And I actually like this little group
So
because
without
this little group that I
overthinking,
just
this what I
named
want you
is
to do
always very, very positive and
is
always have a very
in the
can-do
comment
attitude.
section.
And
Okay, in the comment
like
section,
you
I'll
said
give you
about
two
environment, you
seconds
know, I don't believe anyone can escape their
without
environment
overthinking
and
it.
how your
Name
environment affects you. But I do
yourself the
definitely
biggest
believe the
input you
influences you
took
allow
in the
around you
last
can
24 hours.
overpower an environment.
The one
If
thing you
you
gave the
are
most
in
attention to,
a shitty situation, in a
all
shitty
right?
environment, but you
Drop
have
it
some
in
real
the
go-getters
comment
around
section
you,
and we'll come back to it in a minute.
it's real easy to
All right?
break out of
I'll
that
read them in a
when
minute.
you can
So,
feed
and
off
I
other
will.
people's
We'll come
energy.
back
Because
to
like
it
you
in a
said,
minute.
we're all magnets as
So,
people,
think
and
of
we're
it now,
all
yeah? But
going
don't
to
overthink it. Be honest. Just
take
like,
on, either
the
give or
biggest input
take
could
the
have been,
emotional
X,
energy that other people
for
are putting
charge. It could
off.
have
So
been
if
the
you're always
truth. It
around
could have been woke.
positivity and
Could have
you're
been
around
something your
people
stomach.
that
Be honest. It
in
could have
their
been fucking
mind have
anything,
no doubt in their
you
abilities,
know?
is naturally going to rub off on.
And I'm just going to
That's
talk
why I
about the
like
news
catching a wreck
machine
with
for a
Ace and
minute
shit.
because, look, lads, news is
And
not
after
designed
meeting
to
Mao and
inform
learning
us.
about Mao and
It's
shit, I
designed
really
to
respect what
hold
he
us,
got
yeah? And
going
the
on
fastest
because
way to hold a
you know
feeling
it's easy
in
to
is
do things
fear.
when you're comfortable.
So you're not
It's harder to
consuming
do things
information, you're
when you're
consuming a
uncomfortable.
daily
For
optimized dose
example,
of fucking
you
dread,
spoke on
doubt,
fear,
and fear,
and I
and
feel
your
like a big
nervous
part of
system
fear
can't
is
handle that. Your
survival
nervous
mode
system
and
can't
limiting
tell the difference
beliefs.
between a threat
So I
that's on a fucking
recognize in my
screen
own
four
trading, to be
thousand miles away or
transparent,
something that's in front of you.
I just started
It's
on a new
there.
bot. So I've
Do
been
you know what I
trying to
mean? It's
get
coming in and
accustomed
it's
to the
just
new
slowly
bot.
being processed. So the
And I was losing a
dopamine's
couple
not
dollars. So I
always
said, you know what, let
fucking
me
right
pull
in
up a
front of
demo
you.
account and
And then the
fuck
feed
around
that
there.
you
Let
get,
me
the
see if I can
social
get some
media,
shit
it's like a
going.
fucking drug
And
in
then I
in
learned,
your pocket all day,
okay,
every
the
day,
problem isn't that I have
scrolling
a little bit of
input,
money I'm
input,
playing
input,
with. It's
input.
actually,
Even
I'm
war
just
posts, man.
in a state of
Iran
being
war
scared
posts,
to
this post,
lose.
that's
So
all an input.
I noticed I
It's
was
all an
cutting
input.
winners early on a
And
demo
other
account.
people,
Why would you be
like
scared to
even other
lose
people, like,
fake Solana?
they're
You
posting
get what I'm
different things,
saying?
and
All that's really just a
just go
mental block.
straight
All
into
that's a
that
fair
tank, lads.
game.
Go
And
straight
if
into
you're
that
scared to
fucking
lose fake
unfiltered
Solana,
tank,
how
you
you
know.
expect to make money using
And it's
real
mostly why they're not even
Solana?
paying attention.
So that's
That's the issue.
currently what I'm battling.
You know, it's mostly you don't even realize, but
I
it's
don't think it's
only
a skill
subconscious then.
issue,
And here's
so to
another
say. I
thing that
think it's
nobody
more
wants
of,
to hear.
it's
Here's one
hard
that
for me
nobody,
personally to trade when I am in
the people
survival
around you,
mode, so to
lads,
say.
the people around you,
Yo,
friends,
that's
family,
crazy,
they're the
Fish, because
fucking
I talk
biggest
about
one,
that all
but
the time.
mostly the
One of my
biggest one,
favorite
because
Nipsey
people's
Hussle
emotional
sayings
states are
is he was talking
contagious. You know,
about being
think
in survival
like
mode.
Rich Dad Poor
And when
Dad,
you're in
because I
survival
could talk to
mode,
some
what
family
happens when you
members and
get
they
backed
could have
into
the
a
best
corner, right?
intentions in their mind,
You
but they
tend
don't
to
think the
react in
same
a
as wrong.
certain way
You know,
without
you
really
could talk
thinking
about
about it.
crypto, you could talk
So
about
it's
investing, you could talk about
kind
money, and
of
they're
being
telling you
able to
all the
take
bad
yourself
things
out of
about it.
survival mode
And
and understanding how to
like,
navigate through the
they're
chaos.
thinking of just
Because when
how
you're not in
just
survival
their
mode,
mind
it
frame
puts you
where
in a
they're at,
place
you
where
know.
you want to take that
But
step back and you
that's
want
just
to
an
look
example. 1 second.
so that when you go forward, you're going in whatever direction you choose versus the direction your emotions take you, bro. Say it again,
That's
Abby.
a fact. I agree with that.
Excuse me, I
And I
just had
also
to
want to
cough
add
there.
in,
Sorry.
I heard a lot of good
Oh, you good,
names
bro? My
like
bad.
like Napoleon Hill and
You're all
shit,
good,
and
bro.
fucking all these other guys. And I actually do have
Yeah.
that book that I'm actually
Yeah, I love
staring at right now.
motivation, man,
I was wondering,
You're
I
welcome,
also
bro.
wanted to
Sorry,
add in a
I
person
don't
that I
want to
like. I
keep
really
going.
like
If you want to
Brian
chime in
Tracy.
whenever, no
I don't
worries.
know
You
if
know,
anyone's familiar with Brian Tracy, but he's
just trying
that
to.
nigga. I fuck with him. He always got some good
What's Nip say,
advice.
bro? I love the
And it falls a
conversation.
lot in line with The
Tend
Secret
to
and with the law of attraction and all that shit.
underestimate the power of
Brian
psychology.
Tracy, yeah, I've heard of Brian Tracy.
And when you
Yeah,
plant seeds, you
Brian
you
Tracy.
reap
He's that man is old now.
and
He's
most people
fucking.
have
Is he still alive, bro?
they'll go into
Yeah,
something,
that's
you know,
probably
and
like the
don't put
first,
like that full
I
effort
guess,
in it
quote
because
unquote
they're already
self
in their
help
mind a lot
rabbit
of
hole
time.
that I fell down
And
with some Brian Tracy
you
because he
know,
talks a lot
part
about
of what
psychology, he talks
makes
a lot
you
about
probably
sales,
lose longer
a
Yeah.
lot of money,
is
and
self-understanding.
he's been doing it for a long time. That was like my exposure
100%.
to that self help scene.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I see Lil Fizz
Yeah.
has his hand up, bro.
Um,
Yeah, Fizz, you
Another
can
one,
speak,
Bob
my
Proctor. I
bro.
was only thinking Bob Proctor, he died only recently, like, well, you could say recent. It's been a few years ago now, hasn't it? Maybe 2 or 3 years,
No
maybe.
longer.
a couple of years ago. Bob Proctor, yeah, Brian Tracy. But yeah, Fish, bro, 100%. Like, in with the trading, a lot of it is. I noticed, like, for example, before I done this space, I went into the gym and I ran for 50 minutes. Just ran for 50 minutes on the treadmill. And I done it to clear the head, to just have a clear mind and just be able to think about what I need to think about on the treadmill, go through some notes I had to speak about on the space, and just fucking burn off a bit of steam and feel relaxed and cool and calm and calculate when I come in here. And that's what happened. Like, I mean, that's what I done. But same thing in trading. Like, if I'm gonna have a heavy morning trading, I'm gonna go and run the fucking legs off myself. When I nearly get sick running and sprinting and doing whatever I can, cardio, big cardio session, not even lifting weight. It's like just to get that feel good endorphin. So I'm already feeling good. I'm always in survival mode in a sense, because I'm always fasting. I like to be in a fasted state when I'm trading and training as well. So I eat later in the evening. And so survival mode is a good thing as well, though, because, it makes you not take these stupid, uncalculated, unmanaged, unnecessary risks as well. But also, survival mode can stop you from taking those necessary risks that you should be taking and you kind of need to take too. I just want to say hello to Royo there. I see he has his hand up. Just to let you know, lads, obviously there's no need to cut anyone off and speaking, but when you get a little chance, obviously put your hand up if you want to put your hand up. It's easier to chime in. But if there's a little second there, you want to just hop in and say something, say it. But Royo, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, good evening, everyone, man. Yeah, it's very interesting with what you guys are saying, though, like with everything that Chris just mentioned. But for me, I think the important thing about like you just being in survival mode is like there's going back to this popular quote with this popular quote that Kobe Bryant was said. He was like the reason why he has confidence in himself when he goes onto the court is like because of the hard work, because of the work he puts in before like a game. That sort of thing. Like I think that for me, that's what has helped me in like survival mode, like kind of mindset. Like just putting in that work and like boosting the probability of success, even if it can't always be 100%. But like I think that's like for me what has actually like personally I've seen that has helped me. So I just want to just add that.
That's crazy, Fish, because I talk about that all the time. One of my favorite
Good man,
motivational
bro.
sayings is
Good to see you
follow
up here as
through
well.
is
Good to see you
action.
active.
And when you're in
Hopefully you're
survival mode, what happens
hopefully you're
is
sticking
that
to your training plan. How's that been
you
going for you?
react in a certain way whenever you
Bro,
think about it.
it's not been easy, bro. I thought it was gonna be easy even as like still, but it's going good, bro. I've been seeing some improvements in my body, so at least
Good.
Because when you're
it's
not in
good.
survival
Good.
mode, it puts you in a place where
Good.
you want to take that
But
step back
the
and
few
say,
things you're on about
let
there,
me
like
stop
if you
procrastinating
just
and
think of it, like if you bring
focus
it
on
into
the direction
trading,
you choose versus the direction you
you
want
don't
to go in.
trade the market necessarily. You know, you're trading the market obviously, but mentally and emotionally and spiritually, you're trading your nervous system's interpretation of the market. You're trading the fear you fed it all morning, scrolling on X, thinking about people's setups, scrolling fucking stupid group chats that never give you any fucking real alpha, only bullshit up and down and beer and bull. So when you see a clean setup, you hesitate. You're feeding someone else's panic into your emotions, and you're revenge trading off of their emotions with your capital. And the market didn't make you do that. Your input, the input that you've had all day made you do that, that we've just talked about inputs. And there's a fella, he's a Roman emperor, and like, I think it was 100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another one, Bob Proctor. I was only thinking Bob Proctor, he died only recently. Like, well, you could say recent. It's been a few years ago now, hasn't it? Maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe a couple of years ago. Bob Proctor, yeah, Brian Tracy. But yeah, Fish, bro, 100%. Like, in with the trading, a lot of it is. I noticed, like, for example, before I done this space, I went into the gym and I ran for 50 minutes. Just ran for 50 minutes on the treadmill. And I done it to clear the head, to just have a clear mind and just be able to think about what I need to think about on the treadmill, go through some notes I had to speak about on the space, and just fucking burn off a bit of steam and feel relaxed and cool and calm and calculate when I come in here. And that's what happened. Like, I mean, that's what I've done. But same thing in trading. Like, if I'm gonna have a heavy morning trading, I'm gonna go and run the fucking legs off myself. Fucking discords, telegrams, whatever it is. Like, so you'll have big pages, big people are like, right, big a plan. That's the difference. But look, all of the inputs in your day. You're go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I just want to add my 2 cents on some ideas that have been happening that I heard kind of brought up in the space so far. So over the past couple days, two of the things I've been thinking about a lot, which goes back to what IREX just said, is just because you know how to do something don't mean you know how to do something. If you get what I'm saying. Like just because you know how to trade don't mean you have the emotional control and the capacity to execute that trade. You know what I mean? It's the difference between going to school and you're getting taught by
On a plan and you understand what's going on. That's the difference. And so survival mode is a good thing as well, though, because you know it makes you not take these stupid, uncalculated, unmanaged, unnecessary risks as well. You know, but also survival mode can stop you from taking those necessary risks that you should be taking and you kind of need to take too. I just want to say hello to Royo there. I see he has his hand up. Just to let you know, lads, obviously there's no need to cut anyone off and speaking, but when you get a little chance, obviously put your hand up. Very well said. And you're 100% right there. The biggest battle we have is the person in the mirror. It's the person in our mind, that little voice that says, that's talking all the time, always there. Before any decision you make, good or bad, fucking hell. But when you're opening a door, well, it's just there. That little person is always there, you know? 100%, bro. Yeah. I feel like sometimes, bro, you can't, we lose confidence in certain things that we do when we continually fail, but keep getting up and keep going. You know what I'm saying? To live life, you're gonna go through experiences that you are gonna have to grow through. And like self-doubt is one of the things that everyone battles with. It's not just me. Everyone battles self-doubt. So don't have doubt in yourself. If you have a bias and a plan and you understand what's going on, when you take something, take it with a grain of salt, as the saying says, because your bias could be stronger than theirs. That's all. Yeah, yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. Yeah, I just heard like when you were talking about that earlier, like you know what I'm saying, it happens all the time where people allow the noise and distraction on the timeline to like sway what their what their bias Yeah. is. And yo, when you get into that trade and you're like, damn, I knew it. That's the worst when you have to tell yourself like, damn, I knew it. You know? Yeah. That's man, I can see. You know, it's funny, bro. I see there's some pages on X as well. I'm leaving the laptop from now, boys. So just one sec. But anyway, the I see it on X and the timeline, even group fucking discords, telegrams, whatever it is. Like so you'll have big pages, big people are like, right, Bitcoin crash 1 minute. Next minute, like Bitcoin bull. Next minute, they're like, oh, a guy who's on a live stream and he's bullish, he's bearish, whatever. Now, if you know what you're doing, if you're live trading and you're trading a session, like you have no bias until the fucking bias hits and you find that reaction, you find that fucking, So they're like, I mean, yeah, you might have a daily bias of what you're looking at, but overall, that bias can switch within fucking a couple of minutes. But for someone who's inexperienced or someone that don't understand it, they're like, what the fuck, that fella just said, bully, don't know what he's talking about, he's this, he's that. No, He's fluid. He's like water. But the thing is, you also have other people who don't know what they're talking about, and their bias does flip every fucking hour or every just depending on what way the candle is looking. Yeah. But then that affects other people hugely, like hugely. Like there's fellas that might know some basic things about trading, you know. They might know how to look at a fucking support and resistance. They might know what a trend line is. They might be able to spot trends. They might be able to look at a liquidation heat map. But that doesn't mean you're able to execute. That doesn't mean you're able to look at, you know, order books. You're able to look at all these different things and be able to execute in a trade. So, you know, when you're in the point of a tight zone or you're about to break out of a flag or one of these things, that's where the bias really matters, and that's where a lot of people fucking slip on it, you know. And they let the outside influence creep in because they're unsure because they've heard two or three things already during the morning, and now they're like, "Hang on a minute, let me just check this guy because this guy usually knows what he's talking about." And then they're like, "Well, he's saying something different. Hang on a minute." Let me just check this fella because he usually knows what he's all about as well. And they're both saying similar things, but a little bit different. Then you're fucked. Then they don't know what they're doing for the day.
Yo, Irie, you know what's always been my priority in trading? It's I don't want signal takers, I want signal makers. And
Yes,
the
bro.
and the reason I say that is because a lot of times when you take signals, even though this person has a bias, you don't know what their bankroll is. You don't know what their risk management is. If they're able to hold through deep retracements, right? And you're not, and you have a tight stop loss or whatnot, you get taken out and they could still win. You know what I'm saying? So I'm of the mindset of you need to be a signal maker, not a signal taker. But yo, Lil Fish, I seen you with your hand up, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pass you the high five with a nice high. You're go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I just want to add my 2 cents on some ideas that have been happening that I heard kind of brought up in the space so far. So over the past couple days, two of the things I've been thinking about a lot, which goes back to what IREX just said, is just because you know how to do something don't mean you know how to do something. If you get what I'm saying. Like just because you know how to trade don't mean you have the emotional control and the capacity to execute that trade. You know what I mean? It's the difference between going to school and you're getting taught by a college professor about how to make money and they never made money, or how to run a business and they never ran a business. Like that's just coming from a place of what you think should happen and not what actually happens when you're in the field. You get what I'm saying? And the other idea, which I feel like's been touched on, is I don't know if anybody read the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, or whatever his name is. But basically there was an idea in that book that I thought about for a while and I actually really agree with. And it says basically you're not your body and you're not your mind. And I do agree with that. You are basically the consciousness and the awareness behind that of what's going on. So I've been basically mulling over an idea of like, all right, I'm sure everybody has played Grand Theft Auto. Everyone plays GTA before. In GTA, it's the same thing. The characters, quote unquote, you, and you being a real person, you're controlling them in the background, sort of like your consciousness, which in the book they refer to as the watcher. So basically, you're the watcher controlling yourself in a video game. And I was playing GTA recently, and I was thinking, like, you could really treat life the exact same way. Like, you may not want to do something in real life, but I'm sure you've done something in a video game you didn't want to do. You did a couple missions you didn't want to do just to progress the story. You get what I'm saying? So it's really the same thing. Anything you're doing in GTA, you're not considering the character's feelings involved in it. It's like, all right, I'm gonna do this mission, this mission, this mission. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do this. It's never, well, how does my character feel? Or is he having a good or bad day? Or is he this? Like, I feel like you can kind of do that in real life. Like right now, for example, I can just decide I want to think of the color orange. And I can focus on the color orange for the next 30 minutes straight if I really wanted to. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I really do believe you're not your mind, because you can make your mind do anything. And the same way that thoughts create impulses that create actions, if you can control those thoughts, you kind of can control your whole life. Uh, that's basically all I wanted to add. I just wanted to say, like, you are talking about things that I've been wrestling with in private myself, trying to come up with a thesis, so to say.
Yo, you know what's funny? I was watching an interview and the gentleman goes, he's a comedian. He goes, bro, when men that want to be women can think and feel and say they're a woman, you know what I'm saying? It shows me like you could be anything. Have you ever seen that?
Now,
Like
facts.
he said you could be whatever you want to be. And then like him and Charlemagne started laughing. But bro, like that is yo, that's so real, bro. Cause think
It's more real than a lot of people like to admit, because it's a medical scientific fact that you can think yourself in the symptoms. Like if you think you have some disease, it starts manifesting in your body.
million
And
percent, bro.
I've
Yeah.
also read that doctors are more immune to diseases because they're not in fear of the disease. So I really do feel like if they say the Matrix is real and this is really a hologram and this is not real life, then you do kind of have complete agency over your choices and your decisions and your thoughts, which leads to your life, if
Bro,
that
you
makes
gotta you
sense.
gotta say that for the kids in the back, my boy. Why are doctors more immune to sickness?
They're not scared of it.
Gee. Yo, I see Bam on stage. Yeah, what up, Bam?
Yo, what's going on?
What's good, bro?
It only says he's a little for me. What up, my boy?
What's going on?
Sorry,
Nah,
lads.
just putting the dog food together right now. I was listening to Fish drop gems. How you guys doing? What's going on?
Yes, Bam, bro. Nice to hear you, bro. Not good to hear your voice there. I wanted to welcome you as well, but I wanted to leave the lads a little bit of time to speak because I was just.
Same. Trust me, these motherfuckers are spitting, so I don't want to interrupt, man.
Nice, boy. How are you, bro?
Honestly, I'm great, man. I just saw your message, for everyone to pull up. So I just went on Twitter. I saw that message. I pulled up in the space, and you know,
Appreciate
yeah, man, just some basic principles, fam. What the
Yeah,
fuck is good? How's everything
appreciate
in
it.
Ireland? How's everything by you? Ace, Fish, Ryu.
Yo,
Everything is good. I'm still in
yeah.
the Netherlands here. I see Cam. Yes, Cam is up. Lovely. Uh,
Yo,
how are you, Cam? Whereabouts are you in the world right now, bro?
So I'm going Amsterdam. Just eat up
You're
again.
in up? Yeah, bro. Yeah, we might meet up. My, I was actually supposed to go. My cousin, I posted something. Yeah, I posted it. My cousin was flying to Thailand. I was possibly going to fly with him. I was really debating it, but he flew from Ireland to Amsterdam. Check this. Yeah, so he bought like a package flight from Ireland to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Thailand. But him and his girlfriend, they booked separate flights to Amsterdam like 3 nights before just to chill in Amsterdam. So then a day before the flight, somehow they contacted the company or whatever about tickets, because the company in Ireland said if you don't take your flight from Dublin, well, you are classed as a no-show. So your flight from Thailand is cancelled. And they're like, what the fuck? So they had to pay €600 for flights back to Dublin from Amsterdam to fly back to Amsterdam to fly to Thailand. But I posted, I was going to go to Amsterdam a couple of days ago. I posted up a picture then in one of the group chats that I was on a flight to Thailand, and everyone was thinking I'm going to Thailand. But no, that was my little cousin. Just a little psyop, just to get people thinking.
Up for your cousin.
Sorry?
That's kind of fucked up for your cousin. That's a lot of headache.
Yeah, it is.
Unnecessary headaches.
It is. It is. It's a little bit fucked up. It's unnecessary. But look, as I said, man, that €600 you spent on new flights, you'd spend in Amsterdam in a couple of hours with your girlfriend, like, or like in a, in like very quickly, like, depending on what you do. But look, lads, look, just to tie back in, we're gonna have another chat in a minute. Uh, just to kind of continue and kind of tie up what we're talking about, like, is like everything.
just gonna go back to what we're speaking about. So look, everything we have ever built, anything we have ever started, it's all happened from something within our mind, something invisible, not just us, anybody, you know, everything. I have a pen here in my hand. I just went over and got a notebook and pen because as the lads are speaking, I could be looking at the laptop, I could be doing things, I'm listening, and I should have already had it to take down notes, but I like to take down notes and be able to listen to what people are saying so to kind of go back on it. But anyway, it's like a thought. Once a thought is held long enough in our head with enough feeling, um, and it starts to pull your actions towards it. Like it's like the oldest principle there is. Look, what you give attention to, you move forward. Yeah, whatever you give attention to, you move toward, and whatever you rehearse in your mind. So whatever you visualize, whatever you rehearse, you begin to recognize in the world. So the mind, the input into the mind, and then the mind, and then the body follows the picture in the mind. So the body follows the picture the mind keeps showing. So it's like if you're picturing it now, even just the picture now, not vaguely, but clearly, like, the version of you that is clear headed, steady, strong, and see how that version wakes up. See what they let into their mind, see what they refuse to let in, and see how they carry themselves into the day, into the chart, into every decision, into the meeting, into the school to pick up their kids. That version is not a fantasy, it's a frequency, it's an output from the input that you've given. And you tune into that the same way you tune into fear, one input at a time, one input at a time on purpose. So if you hold that picture in your head now, feel it is already true, and go act like that person who already has it. And that's like the concept of what it is. But the four principles of this is like desire, faith and belief. You have auto suggestion and like focus, feeling, gratitude. These are the different, how could you say, these are like your working principles. So even look, Napoleon Hill, he drew a hard line between wishing and desire, right? So a wish is, I'd like to be lean and clear headed. Okay. So a wish is, I'd like to be lean and clear headed. Desire is specific and it has reason burning underneath it, reason burning behind it. So it's like, I'd like to be lean and clear headed, or I train at 6 a.m. every morning because a sharp body runs a sharp mind and a sharp mind reads the fucking market, you know? And that why is the fuel. Like, that vague wants to produce, it's just there. That's it. And you don't get the body you want, you don't get the discipline you want, you don't get the one you actually believe is yours. Belief is the gate, like, the gate to the subconscious mind. You know, it checks before it accepts new instructions. So, you're giving it instructions, but do you believe those instructions? It's like, okay, you can tell me this all day long, but unless you believe it, well, I'm not accepting it. So part of the work is evidence. You could say, oh, I'm gonna get fit, I'm gonna get fit. You keep telling yourself you're gonna get fit, but you're not doing anything, you're not taking in the couple of steps, you're not doing anything. It's like, so small part of the work is evidence, and small kept promises to yourself make the new identity believable day by day. You
Yo,
know?
you gotta post that, bro. Part of the work is evidence, bro. That
Yeah.
oof. Don't let that go over your heads, fam.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the work is evidence for the children in the back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a
For sure.
bar.
I think you need to say that again, bro. You need to say that again.
You're gonna have to play it back. You're gonna have to play it back. Clip it, bro. Clip it, man. Clip
Dee!
it.
Yo, little fish, what up, broski?
Yeah. I agree with bro just said. Fucking I know a big principle in life is that fake it till you make it shit. And I like better um be and become instead of fake it till you make it. Because before you become something, you have to be something. You know what I mean? You can't just
Sheesh.
choose to be a successful trader. You have to do the work to be a successful trader. And as far as identity, I do believe identity is real malleable, that you can change your identity based on your actions because I do believe you are what you do. You know, you're not what you think, you're not what you intend to do. You are actually what you do.
Yes.
Like if shitty parent, but in your mind you supposedly have this the good intentions and oh if I had it this way I'd do this. You're not. You're a shitty parent in the present and that's who you are. Regardless of what you think you are, you're a shitty parent in the present. So I do feel like you can change your identity through the actions and that's where the be and become comes into play because if you do something long enough, that's who you become. If you can't swim and then an hour every day swimming, you end up being a swimmer. You know what I mean? If you're bad with money and every day you're like, you know what, I'm gonna keep a ironclad budget and I'm not gonna deviate from the budget regardless, you end up becoming good with money. So I do agree with that. I do also want to add that if your identity is not aligned with what you're chasing, then you're facing basically a losing game because you're always going to fall back to what you believe you deserve. You're always going to fall back to the identity you hold in yourself. And if you see yourself as unsuccessful, it's very hard to become successful because your mind will just reject it or you'll self sabotage every time that you do make some progress. So I do really believe integrating an identity that you choose yourself, not one you picked up, not one that the meta put in your head, not one that your friends decided you should be. You gotta pick for yourself, choose who you want to be, and then take every action that aligns with that. Because if not, I don't think it's gonna work. Like if I keep seeing myself as, oh, I'm this bad trader and I can't trade and this, that, I'm just gonna keep manifesting that.
Yo,
But if I see myself, I am a good trader and these losses are part of the game and this is my tuition to learn this skill,
sheesh.
then hopefully that's what's gonna happen.
Facts, bro. Yeah, I was gonna say, did you see my post yesterday? It says, delusion is it's only delusional until it works, bro. And
But
here's a quick thing that I heard in an interview because I like watching interviews. Um, they were talking about people who are realist and people who are delusional, right? And you can give them both the same task. The difference comes down to there'll be some point where there'll be some resistance and the realist will stop, where the persons that's delusional will actually overcome the gap, right? So when you say fake it till you make it, it's not really fake it till you make it, bro, but you have to become, when from who you are to who you want to become, there's a gap. And how do you fill that gap? You know what I mean?
but
Hey man, everyone thinks one thing or another until in a situation you have been met with a fork in the road. Do you accept the terms and conditions that maybe the public is saying that these are going to be the results, man? This is the inevitable, or is it like one of those moments where like even the nihilist and atheist goes to God and goes, "Nah, I pray for a different result. I'm praying for this exact one, and it's the complete opposite of what I'm being."
in the present, and that's who you are. Regardless of what you think you are, you're a shitty parent in the present. So I do feel like you can change your identity through the actions, and that's where the being.
Looked at is in a glass half full, glass half empty, and I think that's why like some things are so like elementary, like that saying itself, bro. You could look at life glass half empty. Oh, he's upset. You missed the trade. You fucked up. I keep fucking up. I only fuck up. And but like as a human, you do have to understand it. Like there is a balance in life that you will have those days where you go, man, I'm a fucking retard. Like, how did I make that trade? The key thing is, bro, like treating yourself with some decency and respect and saying, oh no, I was a fuck up. And then as long as you acknowledge the fuck up and tomorrow like you chisel, you dude, you craft a new tool, for instance, through the fuck up. Like, homie, like that's where we take the losses to wins. That's how, when you turn the pain to champagne. That's why, like, People like you, Ace, and like certain people, like for instance, that I have in my life, like you chisel, you dude, you craft a new tool, for instance, through the fuck up. Like homie, like that's where we take the losses to wins. That's when you turn the pain to champagne. That's why I like people like you, Ace, and like certain people, like for instance, that I have in my life, homie, y'all keep a positive perspective on even when people, like for the most part, at least give a day to say fuck. So it's why like people like y'all are like nice to have around, man, because for the most part, people have a good balance, man. But for those that don't, man, you do need to have a person that will say like, bro, you fucked up, but like you aren't the fuck up. It was a fuck up, and it's what you craft from it, bro. It's like engineering, like it's how they're able to achieve such feats in engineering. It's like, man, you gotta keep practicing, failing, practicing and failing, and then you learn from the failures and you craft something to where the equation doesn't allow something to not get the result you wanted. Like, no, you fair weather fan. For anyone who's a soccer fan, suddenly when Neymar went, everyone's a PSG fan. If you're a baseball fan, Otani, now you're a Dodgers fan. I mean, the term is universal and it's actually translates to anything. You see these people, bro, were shitting on me for Aster or shitting on you for anything. And what happens when it reverses, bro? People suck your dick. They're like, "Whoa, bro, you're such a great trader, man." But it's one of those things. Like, no, just maintain that presence, bro. Because like, just like how I was parading Aster at 240 and it's at 67 fucking cents, I want my head down, bro. What? I gotta step down real quick because someone's calling me. I'll be right back.
Got you,
All
broski.
right.
Yo, Coco, what up, bro?
Yo, my people, what's good, man?
Bless,
It's
bro.
been a while, fam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Eric, I was hearing talking about mind. So I was like, oh, there's always a voice. There's always a voice like telling you the right stuff to do, but the voice is so silent, you know. Like most of the time, why? Like, how do you pull out of doubts? Like having like I don't know of anyone like before something happens, you somewhere in my mind, I have two options,
Mm.
like option A, option B. But like the correct answer most of the time is usually the lower voice. But like like these kind of things, you sometimes you don't care about it because most decisions they are like nothing can come out of this. But in terms of trading, sometimes the little voice might just say open or just close or say stop loss. So like he just softly, he just be like, oh okay, okay. Then the other voice will just be loud, like, no, don't give up. No risks, no Ferrari, no, you just get all hyped up.
I want to touch on Coco something that Bam said, right? Like even an atheist at some points going to prayer, but he's doing everything right, or he thinks he's doing everything right, but he's not getting the result. And that's where I come into and say, worship is execution, and the way you pray is what really brings the results. You know what I'm saying? When you really start going towards who you want to become, you're going to be met with so much resistance and you're not really going to know where to turn. But where you have to turn is to the mirror because that's the real battle.
It's facts, facts.
How do you pray, baby? That's the question. You know what I'm saying? Do you pray in words or do you pray in action?
You pray in words, then you take action. You go both like faith without work is dead on arrival.
Yee, bars.
That's a nice one. I like that. And it's funny. Yeah, that was a good question. Good, what you said, Coco, about sometimes the decision we take, more or less what you said, might be reworded a bit different, but sometimes the decision we take is the most comfortable. It's the it's the lesser one, the one that is probably not the best decision to take. There's a guy called Tony Robbins. He has a very good book called Awaken the Giant Within. It was a good book I read maybe like I'd say about 6 years ago. I actually should read it again just to kind of, I like some books like that. They're good ones. You should kind of, you might read it once and you could read it fucking 3 or 4 times or just keep it there and glance over random pages every now and again. But Awaken the Giant Within is, there's a lot of stuff in it, but just one thing is about how human beings, you see an escalator, you're in a shop mall, you see an escalator, you see a lift, like an elevator, you see an escalator, and you see stairs. Everyone is lining up to take an escalator. The escalator or the fucking elevator. The elevator is full. Some people are like, fuck that, I'm not waiting. They go for the escalator. Some people just wait for that elevator. They're that lazy, they just want to take the elevator. And then some people are like, fuck that, man. He's going up the stairs, he's running past everybody, you know? And and it's also about, you look at yourself in the mirror and you could be in a physical shape that you don't like, you're not happy about, and that's creating pain. All right. So that pain of looking, okay, so imagine this is a mad one, okay? So you have the pain of how you look, but you're settling for the comfort of that because the pain of working out and putting yourself through a different kind of pain, the the temptation of eating what you shouldn't eat, the temptation of not putting that in your mouth when you shouldn't put it in your mouth, boy. Take those steps. You're sitting down for 2 hours. You could be walking for 2 hours. You could be on the phone. Like this, is what I do lately as well. I could just go on the fucking treadmill or I go walking and running. I run, walk, and I have my phone in my hand the whole fucking time, working, doing what I'm doing. But I'm doing it for 1 hour, 2 hours, depending. But it's like, it's pain and comfort. We choose comfort over pain. As human beings, we're almost programmed to choose comfort um, over pain.
Yo, people pushing P, but it's really pain, baby. You gotta push the pain to get to the comfort. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's called loss aversion.
Well,
People are more concerned with not losing than winning.
yeah. Well, look, people will do more to avoid pain than they do to gain pleasure. It's like they will do more. So imagine the pleasure you have of feeling good, looking good, knowing you're physically, mentally fit, strong, not just looking good, but actually healthy. You're fucking good. So you will do more to avoid the pain of getting to that stage. Yeah. Than you will do to gain the pleasure and the benefits of what it would be to be at that stage. And another quote: why people stay stuck. Comfort zone, the comfort zone trap. For most people, the fear of loss is much greater than the desire of gain. So the fear of loss is much greater than the desire of gain. It's like what little fish said earlier. I'm almost like in survival mode about taking a trade. Because you don't want to lose. It's like so that fear of loss is much greater than the desire of what you could possibly gain. So it ties back into you're more afraid of losing than you want to win. I'm not saying you, little fish. I'm saying in general terms, like that's just a fucking overall way. And it's like the way of rewiring that is another quote. The truth is that we can learn to condition our minds, bodies, and emotions linked to pain or pleasure to whatever we choose. By changing what we link pain and pleasure to, we instantly change our behavior. So I'll say it one more time. The truth is that we can learn to condition our minds, bodies, and emotions to link to pain or pleasure or whatever we choose. By changing what we link pain and pleasure to, we instantly change our behaviors. Now, you might say, well, hold on, what do you mean? So, our body and minds could say, okay, going for this 5K run is going to be painful. Going for this 10K run is going to be painful. Instead of listening to a fucking space for 2 hours, I can go book, notebook and pen, and go like I'm back to school and learn some fucking study about the charts, study about what these guys are talking about, yeah? Study about market structure, study about liquidation, study about all sorts of things, order books, whatever. Okay, you could put 2 hours into doing that and link that with pleasure rather than linking with pain. You know, so start rewiring what you associate pain and pleasure with. Like, so I would look at now eating a fucking ice cream or eating something that I enjoy to eat that might have been before associated with pleasure or sex or any of these things. I now associate with pain because I know it's going to bring the outcome. The input might be pleasure, but the output is going to be painful. It's like input output, like what we spoke about. So something that I before would have got pleasure from the input and it gives me an output of pain, I'm reversing that to look at it in a way of hang on a minute, that's it. You know, that's I don't want to even want that. So it's like, you know, I'd rather have painful inputs and pleasurable outputs, you know. And yeah. And then yeah, so that was a good one, Coco, what you said there. You brought me into what I just spoke about there. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I was
nice.
I was reading another book summary recently. I don't know if anyone heard of the book Titan, um, the Rockefeller book about how he built his empire, basically. So I was reading that. One of the things that stuck out to me is exactly what you said. I had to quote some shit like, "If you don't learn to love the work, your life is just always going to be miserable." It basically
Yep.
ties into exactly what you said: is you can choose and assign what brings you pleasure. Is really all up to you. Like people with different mindsets go through the same situations and have completely different realities. Like some people love going to the gym. Like you said, you'll go out for a run, you feel nice, clear headed, refreshed. You might hit some weights, you might do some calisthenics, you might hit the bag, whatever that gets you in your mode. But for someone else, not with that mindset, they could be thinking, oh man, like this shit sucks. Like I gotta get up at 5 in the morning. I gotta go run. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go do 50 pull-ups today. I'm tired. I deserve a day off. And that's completely up to you how your self-talk is in the moments. You get to decide. And I think that was a big eye-opening moment for me because I can decide to like the work. And that's why I like getting on early morning spaces because I noticed when I'm not on a space in the morning, I'm driving to work, I'm sitting there like, oh, I gotta do this. I'm planning out my day. All right, it'll probably take 5, 6 hours, and I'll get lunch, then I'll do this. And it's like that shit just brings me down. But when I jump on an early morning space with Benny or Ace or any of the guys, or if I'm in there keying with Bam in the TG or the Twitter chats, it just makes my day go a lot smoother at work, bro. Because I'm not sitting there actively thinking about the shit I don't want, if that makes sense.
Exactly, bro. And that's that, kind of tying back to the last thing you said about coming onto spaces and talking with people and things. That's another reason why I would do it sometimes too. You know, it's almost like a kind of be like a break from the outside world, the outside of what's going on and the chaos for me. But that's also another reason why I don't do it a lot lately, and I don't do it as much as you might have seen before. Because although I want to break away from the chaos and the madness, I need to be involved in the chaos and the madness. I need to be whatever that is that's giving me that stress and that way of thinking has to be dealt with. Sorry, I had to cough. No, exactly what you're saying. I know exactly where you're coming from, bro. I agree with you 100%. But it's like certain spaces. I'm sure if we could tune into a space like this every morning or every evening, it'd be different. But then I tune into a fucking space and someone's on about God knows what. It's a different kind of thing. And I actually missed lately, bro. This is why I don't know if it's just my news feed or maybe have some of the guys like has people kind of just stop doing what they were doing or slow down or chilling a little bit. I stopped seeing the spaces and the kind of spaces I used to go and chill on. Maybe Bam will host a space or someone will host a space here or there. I stopped. They stopped popping up for me, so I stopped being around. I'll go into certain spaces, maybe guys talking about Bitcoin or guys talking about some maybe about the war, things like that. But I don't go really into crypto spaces. They bore me, bro. They're talking about some NFT project or some meme coin or something that is just like not even worth listening to be honest.
No, I feel that. And I agree with that because that's basically that's like one of those old sayings, like, oh, if you catch your kid smoking a cigarette, make him smoke a whole pack of cigarettes, and then he won't want to smoke no more. It's like if you could acclimate yourself and really go all into the thing that's stressing you out, naturally, it's not going to have the same hold on you. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to learn how to navigate it if you really encapsulate yourself where you're stressed out at.
Yo, I'm just gonna jump in real on something Lil Fish said earlier about life being a game and shit. Lil Fish, I would recommend you to watch this, listen to it. Is Rizwan Virk. Called Reality is a Video Game. Here's the evidence. Very interesting.
If you repeat that, bro, so I can write that down.
Rizwan, Rizwan, Virk, Birk.
Reality is a video.
And then the one I watched was The Basement. Like he probably has different. That's the only thing I know. It was very interesting.
Yeah, I'll check it out because I do.
Is that the name up there? Is that the name up there?
Rizwan Virk is the name of the guy being interviewed in the.
You say reality is a video game. Here's the evidence.
Reality is
This
a
is
video game. Here's
on where can I find it? YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do believe that's a fact because, like I was saying earlier, like any video game you're playing, you're not concerned about the emotions of the character you're controlling. You're just focused on handling your business. And I do feel like you could approach life the same way because I can do anything I want right now. Like I can go run an ultra marathon right now, barefoot in my boxers right now. I have complete free will to do it. The only thing stopping me from doing it is when my mind comes into play. Oh, what's the point of that? Oh, I'm just wasting time. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, that doesn't benefit me at all. But at the end of the day, I could do it. I can get up right now and walk to fucking Pennsylvania if I wanted to. It's just up to me to make that decision and for me to feel like it's worth it. You know what I mean?
Do you, bro?
David Goggins is G for that kind of. I was listening to some David Goggins, just a compilation of him speaking. And it's like, he's like, man, I'm running with the broken foot and I'm running because I hate running. I'm listening to this fucker when I'm running because I hate running. I'm 120 something kilos, like 200 and something pounds running fucking 10 miles. I need to listen to someone else telling me they have broken feet to fucking finish that run, you know? But, yeah, bro, the mind, everything, the mind is the most powerful thing we have. The mind is the most powerful thing we have. The mind is the most powerful weapon. And I just want to, I don't need, okay, in the next like 10, 15 minutes, I need to step away for a minute. I don't necessarily need to close the space, depends on what way the conversation is going. I can stay on it. I'll be home in 15 minutes. I need to slip out for a minute, in and out. But anyway, I just want to bring everything down a little bit, just kind of back on track to where we were and where we were heading and what we were here for, the way we started. So I'm going to take one deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. You can follow along if you want. So I'm going in and a long, slow breath out. Okay. Same choice. You let it in on purpose because you needed that breath. And you let it out because you need to take another. So look, here's the one realization that we said we'd promise and we wanted to speak about and kind of clear up at the start, So the single thing to carry out of this room tonight, it's this, okay? It's the quality of what you allow into your mind and your body is creating your health, your energy, your discipline, and your results, okay? And most of us are sabotaging ourselves without even knowing it. We're just leaving the door wide open, letting anyone and whoever the fuck they want come in, whenever they want, however they want, and bring whoever they want with them. And they don't clean up before they leave. All right.
And you're not weak, you're not broken, you're not undisciplined. You've been just fed and you've been just fed the wrong shit. You've had the wrong input all the time. All right. So look, starting tonight, you choose the meal. You choose the input. Okay. So here's the action. Now this is real, lads. Okay. This is what I'm gonna do tonight. And I want you to do the same. Okay. Now you'd look. This is not no, oh, I'm fucking here meditating, fucking this and that, and expecting the world. No. It's real. Okay. This is real shit. PMA, positive mental attitude, and understand what you're really doing here. Right. So the action that I want you to do, you can do it before you sleep, right before you sleep. Okay. Cut one poison and add one source of fuel. Listen to me, lads. This can be anything. It can be the extra fucking pack of biscuits or the extra couple of spoons of sugar that you need in your coffee or your tea or whatever it is, yeah? Cut one poison and add one source of fuel. Okay? So the last sentence, you hand your mind tonight. And the first one you choose tomorrow before the screen gets a fucking vote and what goes into your mind for the day. So before tonight, write out a good sentence. Write out something positive. And this is not no bullshit. Like, I'm serious. Like, for example, say, look, this is the goal, this is the focus. Look at it. Something that makes you feel good, whatever, and wake up tomorrow, you're gonna see the same thing, and that's the focus. And understand what you're doing. You're not trying to become someone new there overnight. You're not removing what was never yours. The borrowed fear, the noise, the panic you picked up from fucking people you don't even know, strangers online. And letting the version of you that was always under finally come there, come clean, come out. Because look, people will keep offering it to you. The world will keep offering it to you. Tomorrow it'll offer you dread before breakfast. Comparison by mid-morning, someone else's panic by the fucking close. It always will. It's always gonna be there. But it can only get one in through the door. And that door is yours. Stand at that door. Guard that fucking door and decide what comes in. That's the war. And it's the one you can win quietly every single day before anyone even knows the battle has even begun. Okay? So look, if this is something you think is decent, is something you want to listen to again, and you enjoyed the conversation we had, follow me, follow the lads up on speakers, follow each other actually, because whoever's in the room here, to be honest, you stuck around, you stayed here for a reason. And we're gonna grow. I'm gonna do this more often. I'm actually gonna do it more often. I know I always say that, but this is the inner circle. This is the inner war room. We have the war room, which is going to be on Kick all the time, and this is the inner war room, which we will also have on Kick, which will stream our X Spaces live on Kick. Basically, I think Kick should bring in a platform like where people can really come up and be active on it. But um, also, if you see CCA, they're up as a speaker as well. Make sure you follow CCA, lads, if you can do that. That's my page, CCA. We're gonna. That's a lot of fucking stuff there. I just want to say shout out to C4 Bar down there, one of the real ones. I know him a long time. I say a long time. We know each other about a year, but a long time in the space. But a legend there himself. But look. So look. That's it. So inside CCA, you get the deeper work, daily breakdowns. Discord is there, lads. Discord is free. There's a free open. All channels are open. I've been doing a lot of work over the last 2 weeks on all my modules, all my I've took down the website. Our website is not active at the minute because I've been building everything from scratch. I've three new solid indicators actually in the group. I've a lot of things coming in the group anyway. So the Discord is there for free. Telegrams are there. Haven't really used Telegrams as much. It's more Discord. In Discord every day. Links are links are in my bio.
The door's open if you want in. Anyone that's in here, obviously, go into the Discord now and say join from the space, and I'll give you premium access to all channels free for life. Free for life if you're in the space right now. You just need to go into the Discord and say join from space and at me at EireX. I'll add you to CCA Master Elites, which has full access to all premium channels, all premium modules, all streams, anything for life. So that's how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's say 10, 8, 9, 10 people, whatever. Free for life. For some of you lads are already there anyway. But Bubbles, Mao, Little Fish, Cam, Ace, whatever. Make sure you're in the Discord, lads. Fucking hell, mate. And if you're there, let me know. I don't know who's going there. There's 200 people there. Um, but until then, lads, guard the door. Choose your inputs and let the results take care of themselves. Yeah, because honestly, that is it. What goes in, come like It's like they say, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. Well, imagine your mind is eating too. Like literally, that is it. That is it. You know. But yeah, lads, look, I need to step out now myself for a few minutes. I'll only be gone for 10, 15 minutes. Like it is what it is. But it was a good space. It was. I started at what time? 8. It's now 9:39. So now on 40 minutes. I planned 60 to 90. It's 60 to 90 minute space. I know some spaces are good. You have 2, 3 hour, 4 hour, fucking 12 hour long spaces and stuff. But just for what I wanted to speak about and not get it overborne and have something to talk about tomorrow and the next day and whatever else. It's like, we keep it like this and we enjoy the conversation we had. But I'll also like to give anyone else a minute to speak and talk and conversate there if they want or pick up on it else. Now that we're all in the room together, give you the opportunity to open up and have a little convo.
Yo, it was such an amazing space, man. Gratitude is the attitude, bro. And it's like mindset is the biggest part of trading that you're gonna face. Sometimes you know exactly what you're doing, and that self-doubt can creep in. And just know that we all start as losers. At some point, we start to break even, then we start to win. And it's being able to stay in that state, right? You'll go back and forth between breaking even and winning, and sometimes you'll fall back into the loss zone. But understand that it's all you. Everything comes from within, and you externally reflect it. But do not let the external defeat you. You know what I'm saying? We spoke about this. Champions are made in the dark, and you're gonna go through some things that no one understands, but being able to be the difference in the sense of putting in the work, right? And making your prayer physical and executing and following through, because talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. The reality is that and one action can take you way farther than your mouth could. But with that being said, I'm gonna pass my love and light to Cam or Lil Fish. Yeah. Let's have an amazing day, boys.
Thanks for that, bro. Thanks, Ace. Just before we close out, if the lads want to say anything there, Cam, nice to speak to you, Cam, bro. Hopefully we link up now soon. That you're back around the Netherlands. I'm sure we will know very soon during the next couple of weeks anyway. Little Fish, good to hear from bro. Appreciate you pulling up. And I hope to see everybody pull up for the next one. Obviously, consistency is the key here with things like this. There's no point in me holding a space every month or 2 months. So the times might not be the same time every fucking day. It might be, but I want to do it consistently multiple times a week and that. So the more we do it, we can come up, lads, we grow, we build, and that's it. We keep it going. But apart from that, yeah, I'm going to close it here, lads, and I love you and leave you. And as I said, make sure tune into the Discord. Also, this is the last thing I will say. Anybody who subscribes to me on Kick, Yeah, anyone who subscribes to me on Kick gets free access to the CCA liquidity engine indicator and oscillator that we have built for TradingView, which is a combination of multiple indicators and like trend lines and different stuff. So there's a lot of stuff inside, which you would also need the premium TradingView to even run all of these things in the background. So anyway, what I'm saying is this is usually 69 euros per month. I think 60 something euros. I have to double check. It's in the Discord. Monthly anyway subscription is now 4.99 euros, which is, I don't know, it's like 5 euros to subscribe per month on Kick. You support me doing Kick and doing it more, but also you get access to that indicator, which is worth 70 euros per month, 70 or 80 euros per month. Anyway, there's a little package there. But anyway, lads, I'm gonna love you and leave you with that. And yeah, I want to hear from you in the Discord. Let me hear from you in the Discord. I want to see Ace. I want to see Cam, Little Fish, C4. I want to see them. I want to see people in the Discord, lads. Let's build something. Let's grow. You know, there's power in numbers here. So let's keep this going, and I'll speak to everybody soon. All right. God bless. You know who it is. EireX, the realist of the fucking realist. Best of the best. Speak to you in a while, boys.
EireX. Sí, sí, sentí conecta alfa. Late night, pantalla verde, todo play. Tú sabes. Luces bajitas, tiro el level bien alto. Miro la gráfica tranquilo, nunca salto. No corro detrás, yo espero el impacto. Cuando llega a la zona lo marco el salto. Desde la noche moviendo la mesa. Frío en la mente, fuego en la pieza. Ellos se apuran, pierden la cabeza. Nosotros con clase. Timing y certeza. Dream on the screen, city lights atrás. Whole room locked, no looking back. EireX in the calle, we came like that. CCA too clean, never move too fast. Baby, esto no es suerte, esto es disciplina. Entrada fina, salida asesina. Si no está limpio, nadie se inclina. Money flow serio, presión divina. No chase, no panic. No force la misión. Todo calculado, eso es precisión. EireX CCA, siente la tensión. Celtic Connect Alpha, sube la presión. EireX CCA, Celtic Connect Alpha, baby aquí se da. EireX CCA, siempre con la calma, pero listo pa' atacar. Paya verde, noche criminal. Flow demasiado fino, nivel brutal. EireX, movimiento global. Movimiento global. Mami mira el brillo, pero no es cadena. En la pantalla cuando el precio quema. Muchos quieren verse, pocos tienen vena. Nosotros te hacemos que la noche suene. Bad mood pa'l druido, good days de Balmani. Todo demasiado clean, nunca looking pa' mí. Tú lo ves de lejos, pero esto no es funny. Cuando el setup cae, nos ponemos hungry. From Dublin to the world, yeah, the vibe too cold. Big pressure still smooth, never sell my soul. Cuando el setup cae, yeah, we build this mode. If the level don't hold, then we let that go. No ego en el trade, no click por impulso. Todo bien marcado, fino el recurso. Si rompe confirma, entonces me impulso. Si no veo claridad, entonces no curso. Tupa en la misinte, todo calculado. Hallar. EireX, CCA, siente la tensión. Celtic conecta alfa, sube la presión. EireX, CCA, siente la tensión. Celtic conecta alfa, sube la presión. Celtic conecta alfa, baby, aquí se da EireX. CCA, siempre con la calma, pero listo para atacar pantalla verde. Noche criminal, flow demasiado fino, nivel brutal. EireX, CCA, siempre conecta alfa, movimiento global. Suave, pero letal. Todo lo que hacemos se ve natural. Noche, capital. Charts encendido, ritmo digital. Hand steady, mind ready, todo bajo control. Nunca por impulso, siempre por valor. EireX in the building, baby, feel the glow. CCA, demasiado fino, let the whole world know. EireX, CCA, siente la tensión. Celtic conecta alfa, sube la presión. Celtic conecta alfa, baby, aquí se da EireX. CCA, siempre con la calma, pero listo para atacar pantalla verde. Noche criminal, flow demasiado fino, nivel brutal. EireX, CCA, siempre conecta alfa, movimiento global. CCA, Celtic Connect Alpha, Late Night Session. Todo fino, todo claro. Time my brother come over. I used to sleep in his sofa, big Range Rovers, now we're getting chauffeured. I tell my brother come over. I used to sleep in his sofa, now we're getting chauffeured, big Range Rovers. Listen, I've been smoking a lot, drinking, thinking a lot, cause my heart's been twisted and nuts from a loss. I've been smoking a lot, drinking, thinking a lot, cause my heart's been twisted and nuts from a loss. Painful memories, let me pour that Hennessy, and let me spark my spliff, baby, move that hip, so you know that's chemistry. Painful memories, let me pour that Hennessy. I'm tryna grow my seeds, smoke my weed, cause these strains be the remedy. I'm just tryna smoke my weed, yeah. Grow my trees, give me some bees, yeah. But this pain runs deep and I really all feel it. And this gangster life was too appealing. Kids on the street need feeding, belly full of hunger so they stealing. X thing really hurt my feelings, tell me that she love me but I'm leaving, yeah, 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 yeah. I've been smoking a lot, drinking, thinking a lot, cause my heart's been twisted and nuts from a loss. I've been smoking a lot, drinking, thinking a lot, cause my heart's been twisted and nuts from a loss. Painful memories, let me pour that Hennessy, and let me spark my spliff, baby, move that hip, so you know that's chemistry. Painful memories, let me pour that Hennessy. I'm tryna grow my seeds, smoke my weed, cause these strains be the remedy. Bad energy stay far away, let good things come my way. Bad energy stay far away, let good things come my way. Took 4 years out, but I'm back now, better late than never. But I could have been a lot later. Irish rap scene savior, for the kids we need these streets a lot safer. Body smells good, but I might stink, so adios, see you later. In my own song, wave a bye to my haters. Got my own energy and vibes, fuck the fakers. Bad energy stay far away, let good things come my way. Bad energy stay far away, let good things come my way. Let good things come my way. Bad energy far away. And God, please keep my family safe. Let's go down, bro. Get a nice vibe, just feel the vibe and just chill out. That looks like a nice little spot where you are as well. You can chill out, okay? That's what you want, man. No point going to a studio for an hour and a half. Like, fuck off. You want to be there for about 2 days. You know? Like, you want to get relaxed in there and get comfortable.
Brick area. All those finest, you know what's happening.
I tell my brother come over.
Come over.
I used to sleep on his sofa. Now we getting chauffeured, big Range Rover. I tell my brother come over. I used to sleep on his sofa. Now we getting chauffeured, big Range Rover.
I've been smoking a lot, drinking, thinking a lot. 'Cause my heart's been twisted and knots through my life. I've been smoking a lot, drinking, thinking a lot. 'Cause my heart's been twisted and knots through my life. Painful memories, let me pour the Hennessy. Let me spark my spliff, baby, move them hips, I know that's chemistry. Painful memories, let me pour a Hennessy. I'm tryna grow my trees, smoke my weed, 'cause the strains be the remedy. I just wanna smoke my weed, yeah. Grow my trees, give me some peace, yeah. Yeah, this pain runs deep and the real they all feel it. Yeah, this gangster life is too appealing. Kids in the street need feeding, belly full of hunger so they stealing. X thing really hurt my feelings, tell me that she love me but I'm leaving, yeah. I've been smoking a lot, drinking, thinking a lot. 'Cause my heart's been twisted and knots through my life. I've been smoking a lot, drinking, thinking a lot. 'Cause my heart's been twisted and knots through my life. Painful memories, let me pour the Hennessy. Let me spark my spliff, baby, move them hips, I know that's chemistry. Painful memories, let me pour a Hennessy. I'm tryna grow my trees, smoke my weed, 'cause the strains be the remedy. Bad energy stay far away, let good things come my way. Bad energy stay far away, let good things come my way. I took 4 years out, but I'm back now, better late than never. But it could have been a lot later. Irish rap scene savior, for the kids we need these streets a lot safer. Body smells good, but our minds stink, so adios, see you later. In my own zone, web a bye to my haters. Love my own energy and vibes, fuck the fakers. Bad energy stay far away, let good things come my way. Bad energy stay far away, let good things come my way. Way, let good things come my way. Way, bad energy far away. Way, and God please keep my family safe. Let's go down, bro. Get a nice vibe, just feel the vibe and just chill out. That looks like a nice little spot where you are as well. You can chill out, okay? That's what you want, man. No point going to a studio for an hour and a half. Like, fuck off. You want to be there for about 2 days. You know? It's like, you want to get relaxed in